Let's go.
Pet Talk, Pro Beez. Subscribe. I'm delighted to be joined by some good mates, some brethren in the building. Master Genius.
Hold on. Let me introduce myself.
All right. Even better.
The one, the only, the Master Genius. The person who promotes people to invest in themselves. The one, the only, Tunde Ajayi, the Master Genius. Dream it, believe it, become it.
Become it. Hey, I don't know, man. I'm just going to allow the American Dream from Three Kings Boxing to introduce himself.
The one, the only, the lieutenant, the man, the head of public relations for Three Kings Boxing, the fastest growing boxing website in all of boxing, man. You know what I'm saying? No beta male zone, no turtlenecks. We getting busy and we in these streets.
Hey, do you know what? I feel like.
Hold on, wait. You see how it says free KB, Pro Beez, Tunde Ajayi, and you. That's the Three Kings right there.
That's the
Three Kings.
Come on.
I like that, baby.
Hey, you know what? I feel like this right now is a concoction between Carcani, Cross Colors, you know, Click Suits, all in one podcast.
Yes, sir.
Hey, so you know what? Obviously, look, Tunde.
Yes.
You know, at a time of doom and gloom, I thought we'd reach out.
For who?
For the nation, for the world, the pandemic, man, the pandemic.
No, it's not no pandemic for me. It's a positive demic. Positive demic. That's what we're on. We're not on no pandemic. That's for, I don't know. Nothing ain't stopping me from being me. And in the face of negativity, one must realize that there's always an opposite side. And that opposite side is positivity. So we have to train our minds to think opposite to that which we don't want. We don't want negativity. I don't want no pandemic, no what they call it, epidemic. I'm not in that. Those. You see what I'm saying? I'm struggling to say the words because they don't exist in my world. I'm just about giving out and receiving what I give out, and what I give out is positivity. And anyone who comes contrary to my belief, straight blockage. We'll block them.
Hey, how many people are you blocking a day at the moment?
Well, you know what? This is what I'm trying to say. It's gone down. I haven't blocked anyone for for about 2 weeks now. One little youth was trying to question me on my platform, and I direct messaged him and I said, bro, young man, don't try to question me on my platform. And he was like, yeah, but I'm trying to say, as soon as I read the first line that, yeah, I'm trying to, block. You block. You block. Don't try come back with no explanation to me. I'm the teacher. And you don't go to Cambridge University to teach the teachers. You go to sit down and listen to what they got to say. And then you make of it what you want. But don't come on. This is what I'm trying to say. You have to discipline these young people and sometimes older people that, listen, there's levels in life. Imagine me going up to Floyd Mayweather and start telling them about, yeah, although I may believe in myself, he's made it, he's achieved it. So I don't want young people. That's why I blocked Umar from IFL TV. Who do you think you're talking to? You can't. I'm a big man for you. You don't come and question me on what I've achieved. You want to get to where I have got, and then come with something. And this is what I'm trying to say about these people. They want to question people who's already done it. You understand? Instead of learning from them and putting that into what you've got. And I'm very fierce on this, because this is what my dad. When my dad used to talk to me, I can't talk. I can't talk. I have to humble myself. I have to humble myself, even though I might, in my own mind, say, yeah, what my dad is talking, I don't really agree with that. But I humble myself out of respect, and respect is something that we've lost. We've lost that art. But guess what? In Tunde Ajayi's world, we ain't losing nothing. Because you come and mind something with any negativity, I just block you. There you go.
You know
anyway, you know I can talk for 5 hours, so let's get the thing cracking properly.
Hey, hey, Bo. Just to ask you, obviously, look, there's been that whole George Floyd thing pop up in America, man. What's it been like out there? Tell me.
You know, man, listen, man, you got protests going on, and Tunde Ajayi touched upon something. Here's the reality, and the problem is until people understand, until people realize, until people recognize the problem that we have within this country's culture when it comes to police and when it comes to the black community and when it comes to just being black, period, until this country comes to the realization that it is real. It's real. It's not something we make up. It's not something we wake up and say it's a hoax. It's not something that we even want to live through until people understand how real it is and how black lives are lost on the daily simply because we are just who we are, right? I heard a while back when Polly said there's no oppression. That's like, and so when you hear stuff like that, you realize there are people out there that still don't understand or still live in their own world where they think that, oh, it can't be that. No, it is that. And until people realize those things, these are the problems that we are always going to have until we sit down and have an honest conversation about this. Then we will always have this issue. We will always have these problems, and these things will always arise and pop up, man. But a shout out to George Floyd. Everything in prayers go to his family. And listen, man, I'm glad to be here. And this is one of the reasons why I teach my son the way I teach him about going out here in this world, being an alpha male man and not letting nobody take nothing from him or taking nothing from nobody. Because of that right there, because, one day that could be my son. And I want him to know what to do in that situation. And I want others to understand in that situation, do something. Don't stand by with no camera taking no film. Do something. Even if you have to jump on those police officers, do something. Because at the end of the day, there's nothing we have a system in place where if someone does something wrong, or we have a system in place that's supposed to have checks and balances. So no one is supposed to just lose their lives on the street without going through the system properly and correctly. Outside of that, if you see something like that happening, then you got to do something. Me personally, I'm going to do something. I don't care if it's me attacking those police to stop them. I'm going to do something. And until we,
hold on, sorry, bro, because I'm listening intently, and I just want to touch on that point. At the risk of your own life, would you attack those? Okay.
Yes.
I just want to. Okay. Yes. And what about your son?
Yes.
If you risk your life for another person, what about you? I'm just pointing out, if you risk your life for another person being attacked by police, and that police attack you and shoot you and kill you, then where does that leave your son?
And I understand what you're saying, Tunde, and it's hard and tough. And I hear what you're saying, but my son will understand that my father lost his life doing something he taught me to do, and being the man that I know that he is. Because my son knows that that's how I am, because I've actually put my life in danger for my son. So he knows it. You know what I'm saying? So he knows that. So yeah, and I hear you, because but the thing of it is, we can't, if you live with that fear of, oh man, if I do this, it could end my life, what about them? Then it's kind of hard to come about change that you need. Sometimes change require a great sacrifice, a great one. Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, they knew what those changes was going to cost them. They did it anyway. So I hear
did it change anything? Did it change anything? See, I want you to understand. I'm playing God's advocate, because I ain't no devil. I'm playing God's advocate. I'm saying that.
All right, I hear you.
You understand? What you're saying it sounds right, and I feel that it is right, but there's always another side, and I'm saying that this is why I asked you about your son, because I don't know, me personally, I'm just keeping it real, if I'm going to endanger my life, because then, just like in boxing or football or anything, it's a numbers game. And history has shown us, especially in our community, that there's more weak people than there is strong people.
That's very true.
And so for 500 years, we keep on fighting this battle being outnumbered by the weaker. So I'm like, bro, until the numbers step up, because as you say, you've like, you're one of the strong ones. You understand? And that's what you show your child. But how long is it gonna? How many times or how many years is it gonna be before we just keep on marching? That's what I'm trying to say. What does marching do? What does looting and shooting do? It ain't doing nothing, and it obviously hasn't done nothing, because for 500 years, it's even worse, I would say. So I think that we have to get ourselves in certain positions where it's not just about money. And this is why I keep telling people, you can't change me with your money. Because the richest man in the world right now is on lockdown. You get what I'm saying? So your money ain't really doing that much. What we have to be policy makers. We have to get in a position where we can tell people you can't come out your house and you've got to keep 2 meters apart. Because until then, it really is we're just losing a battle, or we're fighting a battle that we can't win. We got to step up collectively, and this is what I'm trying to say. The march, if you see, I ain't put none of this business on my page, this George Floyd business on my page. I ain't even spoken about it, because I'm like, I watched my dad and my family, Fela Kuti. I watched these men fight their whole lives for the people, and then our own people end up killing them. I mean, us here in the UK, we're talking about this poor, unfortunate guy. What about the 90 people that died in London from January 2019 to August 2019? How comes we ain't talking about that? And then the people in London and England are talking about something across the water. I didn't see no protests in London when 90 people were killed by violent crimes. So this is what I'm trying to say. Where's the balance? I don't get it, and that's why I don't talk on it. I'm like, the best is, I always say this, brother, be what you want to see. And that's what you're doing. You're being what you want to see, which is that positive light to your son. You understand? But I'm like, I could be fighting for a man who's weak. I could go out there and fight for a man who's weak. A man ain't going to do the same thing for me. So I'm like, bro, you come in my house, then you're going to know what it is. But the history, listen, we don't know. Listen, I think it was Bob Marley and many greats have said, if you don't know your history, you can't know your future. And the history of us has shown us that there's too many weak people in this thing. There's too many weak people in this thing. And I ain't fighting for no weak man. So I'm like, look, I'm standing up for me and for my family, and anybody else or everybody else is supposed to draw strength from that. And let's try to make some change by getting ourselves in positions, not only in sport, but in education, in law, in arts, in everything. Because we got the money. I see man buying rims for fun. We got the money. So why are we not leveraging? Why are we, we got the brother Akon, people down there talking about communities. Akon's buying a city. He ain't talking, he's doing. And that's where I am and where I have been for many years. Because I've done that. I've been out on the roads selling newspapers, finding cool newspapers. You understand? Nothing to do with racism. Nothing to do with racism. I just wanted us as a community to come together and build things. So I'm like, you know what, bruv? I'm in the thing. Sorry, you get me emotional now. That's no,
because the reality is that everything you're saying is actually factual, because there are, like you're saying, there are more weak people than strong people. But sometimes as a strong person, you're gonna have to fight for that weak person, and hopefully other strong people will come and join you, or that weak person finds strength himself. Absolutely. Or that weak person somehow finds strength and joins you.
Absolutely. But life is precious, brother. And this is what I'm saying. Life is precious. So what you're saying, again, totally agree with you. I'm just coming from a different perspective. When a man says they're willing to give their life, that's a serious statement. That's a serious statement, because you got a mother, you got a father, you got a son and a daughter that now has to grow up without the strength of the family. You understand? So I'm saying that there are many that have given their lives. How much of these kids know the history of Malcolm X? How many kids of today know the history of Marcus Garvey?
Mm-hmm.
So what was the point? If over time they're going to be forgotten about, it's best we just focus on ourselves and our families. I keep saying this, brother. Be what you want to see. The talk don't do nothing. Brothers out here talking, but he ain't doing nothing. Where's the change?
Yeah, you know,
let's be the change.
that and listen, I agree with you 100%. A person can say something because you said how you didn't put nothing on your page and all that. A person can say something, but it's not what you say. It's not what you. It's about what you. Your actions speaks louder than your words. Everybody will tell you what they'll do until that moment comes for you to see them actually do it.
Yes, sir. And that's what I said to you.
You know what? I feel you 1,000%.
You understand something? Config. Yeah, sorry to cut you. This is beautiful dialogue that we're having. Yeah, this is what I'm saying. It's easy to say it. Yeah, and in that moment of anger, you may risk your life. But then what happens to Mr. Three Kings in the future, which is your son? How does he deal with the anguish and the pain of losing his father?
And that's why teaching is exceptionally important. I don't rely on school to teach my son. I teach my son. I don't rely on school to teach my son the true history of the true history of our culture and our nation. I teach my son that. You know what I'm saying? So teaching is exceptionally important. If you want to build in order to have a future, you got to lay that foundation. You got to build that future. Then you got to make sure that you pass it on to the person that's going to carry that on for you. Every center block that you lay down on your foundation, make sure you're teaching your son, you're teaching your daughter, you're teaching your nephew. Hell, you're teaching your neighbor. Okay, you're teaching them that as you lay down that block and that foundation. We've gotten away from teaching, properly teaching, and depending on others to educate our children about our culture. That is so wrong.
Yes.
And that's why that teaching is important, because the way I'm teaching my son, he knows if I go out here and I see something injustice, he knows how his father is. He knows what his father has done, and I lose my life. He's not going to go out in anger and do something. He's going to go out and he's going to use their rules, their laws against them to get something done.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Because of that, and he's going to keep going because he knows this is what my father taught me. This is what I was prepared for. My grandfather did that with me, and I'm passing it down to my son.
Yes, sir. Yes,
I agree with you 100%. I believe more in the ideal. My grandfather taught me something a long time ago. Sometimes you have to believe more in the idea than in the man, because the idea will live forever. They will always try to destroy the man, but they can never destroy the idea.
Yes.
And sometimes you have to believe that idea. Think about how people are about religion. They believe religion so much so that they confess their religion to another person instead of getting down on their knees and telling the Almighty they damn self. They have a direct line to him.
Yes.
See,
yes.
You know. So
well, this is
go ahead. No, go ahead, man. Go ahead, man.
No. Brother, and I say this with all respect. What you're saying is not new. We've been saying it for 500 years. This is what I'm trying to say. The talk has been said, bro. The talk. You literally, we didn't even need to come on air. I knew what you was gonna say. Because people, children especially, don't do what you tell them. They do what they see you do. You see what I'm saying? And so you got some man, bro. I was watching Money Heist, one of the hottest things on Netflix right now.
On Netflix, yeah.
One of the hottest things. And this brother was a hostage. Yeah, all the Money Heist crew will know what I'm talking about. He, after the first hostage on the bank, he became a national star, being a kind of like spokesperson, you know, giving people, uplifting people.
Motivation. Motivation.
But then, in the second heist now, he come on, and what they were showing that this guy was a little trickster. giving women pills to drug them, to grind them. I'm like, you see what I'm saying? So he can talk the talk. You got people with a sweet mouth. They talk the talk, but they're not the real. They don't have the real in them. And this is what I'm saying, brother. The teaching thing don't really matter. It's what's inside. It's what's inside. Do you really believe the words that are coming out of your own mouth? See? Because we got people who are trained, skilled in oratory. I never went to university to talk the way I talk, but you can feel the thing. Yeah. Everybody can feel the thing.
Well, you know, because Tunde, here's the problem is you can't, people are trained and people are lazy in the mind, right?
Yes.
You fall into that trap of believing your education is based off of a piece of paper. Yes. No, your education is based off of what you have walked. The same thing they teach you in school. You got library, you got the books. You can teach yourself. Okay. Yes. Anything they haven't taught you in school, you can teach yourself. That's why I said I don't depend. I understand my son needs that piece of paper to go out in life.
Yeah.
I need that piece of paper to go out in life. But what he's gonna learn about life, he ain't gonna never learn shit about life in school. He gonna learn it from me.
Okay, you know so that's my point. That's my point.
You're gonna learn that from me because I learned it from my grandfather.
But that's the point. What I'm saying, brother. I'm gonna be honest with you. Shit, I'm talking about my own experience. My mother is very religious, very religious. You know, always every day. You know. Remember, you're nothing without God, and you understand what I'm saying. And growing up in the inner city. Come on, we know the experience.
Yeah,
growing up in
going to church every single day.
Going to church got night vigil when you could be giving me that toy car that I wanted instead of giving it to the pastor, the money to the pastor. But anyway, so the point is what I'm saying is that my mother, when we would get or fall on hard times, she would always used to panic. You understand? And I was like, hold on. This was as a young man, a young child, not even a man, like a 3-4 years old. I was like, this God that you're telling me to believe in because of you, how come this God can't furnish us? How come this God can't get us out of this ghetto? How come this God can't put nice food on the table? Why am I having to eat Gary for breakfast, lunch, and dinner? For those who don't know what Gary is cassava. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm saying, isn't this God powerful enough to give us what we want? So the thing is that I wasn't never disrespecting my mother and my mother's faith, but I'm saying that it would have been better for her to give us or show us what we can get and then tell us God is the reason for this. So the point I'm making is that we can talk the talk, but we have to walk the walk. And going out and marching and doing this and it ain't doing nothing. The kids of today, especially the kids of today in the world, remember, we can as parents talk to our children, but then they pick up one of these. One of these. And this is the devil. What you're talking about is this.
Yeah.
You understand?
Very true.
It's this.
Very true. I agree 100%.
So I'm telling you, brother, we can't. And this is a numbers game.
It's a new form of control. This is nothing more than a new form of control.
Every man in the village has got this. The people with the poorest people have got one of these. See? So I'm like, man, we just got to be what we got to see. And that is how we deal with this thing. And that's why I never, I just like, man, you know what? I feel exactly, hold on. You see that? You see that? My dad must have heard me. My dad must have heard me. That's my dad on the line.
That's mad.
Yeah, I told you, it's energy. You see what I'm saying? It's energy, brother. Ain't nothing else. We got to be what we want to see. We can't keep on asking other people to help us when they ain't asking no one. The conversations that we're having, are they having these conversations? I don't believe they are.
Also, Tunde, I want to point something out. I don't want to see, and this is a huge problem we have, we should never let go. A week from now, Whereas a week from now, half of the people doing what they're doing, they're not going to be doing it no more.
Exactly.
A week from now, half of the people sending out these text messages, they won't be doing it anymore, right?
Exactly.
Something will happen, or it's like something will happen, and people be like, okay, I got a little bit. I'm done. No. When you are, it's just like a boxing match to me. See, life is like a boxing match. If you tell me I got to go 12 rounds, God damn it, I'm preparing to go 12 rounds.
Yes,
I ain't preparing to go 3. I ain't preparing to go 6. I'm preparing to go 12. If you tell me we going old school, right? If you tell me we going old school 15, God damn it, I'm prepared to go 15.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So again, brother, listen
to the end.
So what I'm saying is what I said from the get-go. We cannot put so much energy into telling others what to do. We got to do it ourselves.
Yes. No.
Every individual, every human being on the planet has the duty to do the right thing. I'm in control of me. I don't know what you're gonna do when we turn off this broadcast. So I'm not gonna waste my energy. I've done this. I've grown up in. Bro, you need to look at. I post some of the pictures of back in the day. You see who's the center of the picture? It's me, because I was the one when we do a move. I can talk like this because I'm not about that life no more. When we do a move, ask my people. I would do a move up West London, West End, come back and buy all my clique, Moschino jackets, trainers, buy my whole football team, their kit, Dulwich Eagles for the people who know, buy my whole football team that we built, Dulwich Eagles. Big up Paul Senior, now a big man in football. But I used to do that. I get the prize and then spread it between my mans them. And this is what I've created in boxing with Stamina for Sale. Because a lot of people talk about it, but they don't do nothing, brother. And that's why I don't waste it. You see this passion what I'm talking with now? That's an everyday thing for me.
It's a cold reality, and you're right. And I was gonna say this too. Before we can ask others to do anything, we have to look within.
There you go.
That's where it starts first. We gotta look within. We have to recognize the issue ourselves first.
There you go.
Okay? Because I get the protesting, but what happens tomorrow? What happens next week? What happens?
Yes.
Because now what has happened is, because of the violence, now the narrative changed. They're hijacking the initial narrative now. Yes. See? So we have to be smart. I set my kids down. Matter of fact, I did this last week, and it's kind of like a once a month thing. I sit my kids down. I talk to them about 401k. I talk to them about retirement. I talk to them about the laws. I talk to them about, hey, what is it you want to be? How to go about it? Funding that you can get that they don't tell you about. I talk to them about this. You see what I'm saying? Because that's where the teaching actually starts. Because I want them to be able, if something goes wrong, okay, even if nobody's behind you, you have the strength, you have the knowledge, you have the will to get that damn change yourself. Even if nobody's there to help you.
So guess what?
Sometimes you have to be your own army.
So guess what?
Before the troops come to help.
So guess what? If you do that, Mr. Kings, and I do that, Mr. Tunde Ajayi, and Pro Beats do that, Mr. Pro Beats, then what's the problem? The thing is, we're not doing it. We're talking about it, but we're not doing it. If everyone did what you just say you do with your family, there would be no problem. But as I said at the top of this show, too many weak hearts, too many people talking the talk, too many people willing to sell themselves out and sell out what they know is right. For what? And this ain't no new thing. This has been happening.
They bought into
your whole life. No one ain't bought into nothing. It ain't bought into nothing. It's been there, brother.
No. What I was about to say is they bought into what society tells them, which is you got to have a cell phone to be somebody. You got to have the latest gym shoe to be somebody. You got to have.
I don't. Sorry again. Sorry to
Go
cut
ahead.
you, but no, Karen. Let me.
No, I was just going to say they buy into that fakeness that society tells you that you need. Like you got to look this particular way to be cool or look this particular way to be beautiful. No, be who you want to be. Don't be who somebody else tells you to be or somebody else is feeding to you.
I
Feed your
agree.
own self-knowledge.
I agree, and I agree, and what's the word? It's not disagree. I agree, and I've got another way of looking at it.
Okay.
There's nothing wrong with being in the social life. There's nothing wrong having that new phone and having, the best clothes or designer clothes. There
But
ain't actually.
there got to be a balance between whether I buy this brand new car or I invest in buying me a house. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like there's got to be a balance.
Yeah. So what I'm trying to say is that we don't want to, because listen, I'm very in touch with the young ones. I move. My people, my age, say, bro, you think you're 15 years old or 20 years old? Because I be bopping to the young boy tunes. I don't care, because I don't believe in all this age thing. Because I believe in spirit. Spirit travels millions of years. That's why a young child can display wisdom. You see what I'm saying? And so I never believe in this age thing. But what I'm trying to say is, the point is, we just gotta do this for ourselves. Every single one of us has to make the change. And the energy which we use, well, I don't use it because I stopped that long time, but the energy which we use to talk about what another person should be doing should be used for us to do what you do with your children. See? And then there will be no problem. Then what happens is, you're always going to have people, because you've got to remember, there's got to be balance and polarity to everything that happens in life. You're always going to have a section that is wrong or negative, and you're always going to have a section that is right and positive. So our job is to focus on the positives and not give our energy so much to the negatives. I'm like, okay, how can we stop this happening? There may be more blacks should join the police force, so where we have a say in this thing. You understand? Because then if there's 4 whites and 4 blacks, a black man is not going to stand there and watch another black man being racially abused. So that's the way that we can get in. That's the way we can make a change. But if you're using the color thing, but we're not in the game, we got to get in the game first. And this is what I'm trying to say. We can keep talking as much as we want, but if we're not making these laws, if we're not passing any policies, then how? It's not going to do nothing. It's never going to do nothing. So then we teach our children everything that we need to do and give them the examples. And then they go out in the world and suffer and have to deal with the same things. We need to step up our games individually. You understand? And then I believe there will be a change. But as you said, this marching for 1 week and 2 weeks, everyone holding the banners out, and then come July, everyone's in the rain and buying new rims. You understand? Buying new chains. Buying new chains.
You believe?
And just living the life. So what really changes, listen, man, there's so many levels to this conversation that
we don't have that kind of time.
we don't even have that kind of time. But this whole thing sparked off when I heard you say you would give your life for another man, and you don't know that man. Brother, I ain't giving my life for no weak man. I don't know you. If me and you roll up into if me and you go into the fight, then I'll say, yeah, all right, boom. I know this man is gonna go for me. You understand? Because that's all I've got around me. That's why my camp, we only got those kind of people around us. That's why there's no weak link. You can't go and say something negative about Tunde to Ajayi or to Anthony about me. Because it's circulating, it's coming back to me. Sometimes Anthony might not even say the negative things, what people are saying about me to him. Because he's strong enough to know that, hold on, you guys are giving your opinion, but you guys weren't with me until 4:30 in the morning when we was doing our thing. You understand what I'm saying? You just a hater. You're just a hater. You're just talking. And unfortunately, that's what most of our people have become. They just become talkers. And I'm not gonna follow. I'm not gonna keep that paradigm going where we all get all excited for 1 week, come out with the banners and start talking, and then next
actions.
Actions speak louder than words.
And to be fair, look, for the time that I've known Tunde, he's kept the same routine. You know, he's up early doors in the morning. He's out there, he's trading, he's making sure that he's in shape, he's making sure that he's studying his boxing, and he's educating his fighters, including Anthony Yard. Do you know what I mean?
And that's what we all got to do, brother. That's what we all got to do. Listen, if everybody's so fair and everybody's so just and everybody wants so much for one another, then tell me why Floyd Mayweather, why I don't even want to go too close on, but let's talk about Floyd. Or I heard Chris Eubanks Jr. say it the other day that most fighters don't know about the ins and outs of the business. Then why are you telling us? If you love us so much, why are you telling us the ins and outs of the business? Why are you telling us what we should be signing or what we shouldn't be signing? If you love us so much. This is what I'm trying to say. Hypocrisy. Weak-hearted people. Selfish, jealous, greedy people that want it all for themselves and don't want to teach people, because we all know there's no such thing as something for nothing. We all know that you reap what you sow, but if you care about us so much, show us, point out to us the part of the contract that we're not going to sign, instead of telling us that most fighters are stupid, most fighters are dumb. Is what I'm trying to say.
Tunde, that goes back to what I talked about the teaching. That goes back to what I talked.
But it's all knowledge. Bro, there's knowledge what we don't know. Remember, if your brain is not wired to a certain level, I'm talking science here. If your brain is not wired to a certain level, you can be reading a document and not see a letter on that document. That's how the brain works. That's why they say knowledge is power. So if we don't have the knowledge, we can be reading it. Listen, I'll give you an example. A young youth sent me something the other day. I said, hold on, how comes you're out there, you know, with your trainer already, licking pads, doing sparring and everything like that? And he said to me, yeah, they've told us we can do it. We can train. I said, well, I ain't heard that. He said, I'll send you the document. He sent me the document. Within 1 minute, I pointed out and circled 4 points of that document, which says he couldn't do what he said he was allowed to do. And then he said to me, bro, I didn't even see that. See, that may sound like some spook some mystery in the sky, but that's how the brain works, brother.
Because you know why? You know why? Because most of the time, instead of reading something for ourselves or learning something for ourselves, we depend on what someone else told us.
Yes,
if someone else told him, hey, you can train, take this document, you can train, don't worry about it.
Yes.
Instead of them reading to make sure, well, am I within the guidelines, they accept what they were told.
Yes, brother, but listen to the point what I'm making. Sorry to cut you again. The point what I'm making is, me and you can read it. It don't mean we understand it. Our mothers and fathers have been reading the Bible and the Holy Quran for years. They still don't understand it because they still don't live by the golden rule. Do unto others as you would have others do unto you. They can't even see that part of the holy book. See? So this is what I'm trying to say. If everyone cares so much, why are they not giving us that knowledge? Why are they not teaching us their knowledge? We don't know everything. You don't know everything. There are things what you're teaching your child, what there's different levels to. So I'm like, these guys that have made it, so what does it all boil down to? The money. That's what it is. It's the money. And then it's the trust. It's the money, brother. And then it's the trust.
Well, it's the money, it's the power, and it's that what you say, that how they want to hold on to that. Think about this for a second.
But we keep on saying they. This is what I'm trying to say. I don't think like, and listen, this is nothing to what you're saying. I don't think like the ordinary man. Because we keep on using this word, they. Even me say it. I say it sometimes. But there are those of us in certain positions.
Well, okay.
And we're not teaching each other. We're not teaching each other because we still got this mentality that if I show a man what it is, then that's gonna take from my plate, and that's not the truth.
That's what I was getting to. See, that's exactly what I was getting to. When you look at some of our so-called black leaders, right, and you look at them, they're 60 and 50 and 60 and 70 years old, right? Yes. And they have, what they've done is they held on to that power. They refuse to pass that power off and go off and sit on the sideline and let the person they teach fight that fight.
Yes.
Why? Why? Because you just said it. They want to, you know, our so-called teachers and our so-called leaders, they've held on to it. They don't want to let it go. It's intoxicating. They fall in love with it. It's hard for them to let that go and pass that on. But if you pass it on, if you're teaching them and you pass that knowledge on, like you said, Chris Eubanks made that statement. But you know what? Floyd Mayweather, same thing. But if you're teaching guys this right here, you don't lose your power simply because you taught them that. You actually increase your power because now you have more that understand that can fight this fight with you.
Well, they obviously don't know that, because I see Floyd Mayweather training Devin Haney, and I never see one shoulder.
That was interesting, yeah.
I never see no shoulder. I never see no shoulder. Back, pull, back. I see some deadpans. 1, 2, left hook, uppercut. You ain't got nowhere with that. Let me tell you. Because I'm a teacher. Floyd Mayweather, if he wants teaching to be a teacher, he has to come to me. He has to come to me because he ain't a teacher. And this is why I keep telling people. You all want to credit the fighter and not the teacher. Could Floyd Mayweather have been what he is without Roger? Without Floyd Senior? No, he couldn't. Let me answer that for you. And how do you know? Because what he's teaching Devin Haney is nonsense. He's teaching him nonsense. That ain't gonna work. That's for social media.
You think it's because of? You think it's because he promotes Gervonta Davis? Is that why you think he's holding back on?
No, it don't make no sense anyway. Because if he promotes Gervonta, that doesn't even make sense. If he promotes Gervonta Davis, why would you even give your energy to his rival?
A lot of people are saying that. Why is he training Devin Haney?
So this is what I'm trying to say. It's all fake. It's all fake, brother. It's all fake. And I don't like. That's why I don't talk out. That's why really I stay in my own lane. But we're on this thing, and I'm just saying it how it is. You're not a teacher. Why wasn't Michael Jordan the greatest teacher? He wasn't. He was the greatest player. Mike Tyson ain't no trainer. So what are you doing it for? If you're gonna do something with the realness. So that way you're getting the realness. And that's what I'm trying to say. There's too many fake brothers. What everyone knows, when I was starting in the sport of boxing, the reason why me and Anthony got to the elite level within 4 years of being a pro and zero amateur experience, is because I studied Roger. I never studied Floyd. I studied Roger. And I'm not ashamed to say that. I studied the teacher, going back to my point as Mr. Free King says. It's the teacher. We have to be teachers and doers. Teachers and doers, not just for some camera business. Because if you're good, you will sell. If you're good, you will sell. You will make that money. You understand what I'm saying? So I don't care what comes out of my mouth. At the end of the day, it's about the money. It's the law of nature, survival. Look after your children. Set a great example for your children. And by doing that, what you do is that you set great examples for others. It's not the talking. And the talking. That's why boxing to me is a show business. But I'm not even acting. I'm just being myself. And that's why I don't care.
But see, Tunde, you being yourself because you was taught by a strong person to be just that. Don't be nobody else other than who you are, which is why I am the way that I am.
There you go.
You know,
But we want some money.
right.
We
I've
want some
talked
money.
to Beez, and I talked to you, and I remember something you told me in the interview. You said, brother, I know I'll be talking to you again because you know I'm real.
Yes, sir.
See?
Yes, sir.
See, you know, that's
Yes,
what you
sir.
said, brother, I'll be talking to you again because
Yes,
you know
sir.
I'm real. Me and you haven't talked in a long time, and look at this. It ain't like,
Yes.
oh, where you been? You would never know that we hadn't talked in a long time because
Trust
when
me.
you are real and you with other real people, you can
Yes.
pick up where you left off. So
Yes.
that's why,
So,
like what you're saying, when I look at Floyd with Devin Haney, I'm thinking to myself, if he's teaching Devin Haney anything, it might not be boxing. It might be outside of boxing, which is why Devin Haney has his own promotional company, which is why Devin Haney is doing more things that Floyd is doing versus Gervonta Davis. Gervonta Davis is riding up in a Lamborghini with a fur coat on and a big old diamond on his ring. Okay, that's what he's doing. But Devin Haney is building something. See, and I think Floyd looks at that. Now, Floyd, he has known Devin Haney for a very long time, and then Devin Haney himself outside of Floyd, like, like Devin Haney himself has said this. Most fighters thank Al Heyman. I thank Bill Haney. Why? Because Devin Haney had a strong man in his life that told him, this is what you need, and he recognized that. To where other fighters look at Al Heyman, oh, I want to thank him for this. No, Devin's like, no, 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 no. I'm thanking my dad because he took the sacrifice to get me here. So Floyd is looking at the move that Haney's making outside the ring. He's like, I like what he's doing outside the ring. Maybe I'll teach him some of the things that can help further him. So
that's interesting.
Yeah, because if you was to ask me, like if I was to ask you right now, who lives more of the fighter's life, Devin Haney or Tank Davis? Who would you say?
We don't know.
Haney, 100%.
No, you can't say again, brother. You can't say 100%. We don't know. What we do know is 60-second Instagram clips, and this is where I feel, if anything, the fighters of today have been more concerned about their social presence than actually learning the craft. Because I'm not saying the Mexican boy Garcia is gonna beat Devin Haney. I'm not saying that Gervonta is gonna beat Devin Haney. But what I'm saying is, if you look at the performances, who do you think is performing better on paper than if you put the three of them up there now? Who's had the better performances in a 1-2-3? Haney, Garcia, and Gervonta. Name me. Tell me.
Wait a minute, which Garcia? Mikey?
Ryan Garcia.
Ryan.
Who's displaying the better boxing out of the three? 1-2-3.
Who's the what now?
Who's displaying the better boxing out of the three? Garcia, Haney, and Tank Davis.
You know what? Tank will be, when I look at Ryan Garcia,
yes,
he has I'm watching his evolution.
Yes.
Right? He's winning. He's got with Canelo Alvarez. He's added some tricks to his game. Okay. Yes. He's always in the gym, always staying in shape. Yes. Tank Davis has shown me he lacks discipline. He's gained weight. He had a video of his pot belly hanging all out, right?
Yes.
He's showing me how he can lose focus. Devin Haney, same thing. Even being injured, Devin Haney stayed in shape. Devin Haney did the proper things necessary to get back. If you was to ask me right now, who I would say right now, who's showing me they're doing better with their boxing, I would have to say Ryan Garcia because Devin Haney's been out, he's been injured. Okay? So I haven't seen, I feel I need to see Devin Haney fight like a Javier Fortuna, a Luke Campbell. He has to kind of step that up. And I have to see those performances against, I know what you can do against the lower level guys, right? I'm not going to rate you by what you do against the lower level guys. Once I recognize, okay, you have something special, I can't rate you by what you do against a lower level dude because that's what you're supposed to do. But when I look at Ryan Garcia and I look at what he's added to his game, some of the changes he's made, and now he's working out with Canelo Alvarez. Now he's about to step up and level of competition and fight a former champion in Jorge Linares. So he's pushing himself. I would have to give it to Ryan Garcia just based off of that. Devin Haney, when he comes back, And like I said, he's been out injured. So normally when you're out injured, what happens when you're injured? You're in neutral.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? There is no improvement. There is no decrease. You're in neutral. But I give him credit because even being injured, he hasn't been out of shape. He hasn't had a pot belly. You know what I'm saying? So I'll give him credit for that. But if I say, hey man, the guy I've been looking at, because his last two performances was, especially against a guy everybody thought he was scared to fight, which is that dude Duno. His last two performances, he showed something that I didn't see before with that left hook. He showed his carrying ability. He might still lack a little bit on the defensive side, but then when he's training with Canelo Alvarez. So I'm seeing the improvement. And then his potential level is getting pretty high. I'm looking at his backing. I'm like, I would have to give it to Ryan Garcia right now. Devin Haney has it also, but there are more things he has to do. Just because he's the champion don't automatically mean he's above. Okay? That don't automatically. You could be like William Guthrie was a champion, but everybody knew Reggie Johnson was gonna whoop his ass. See what I'm saying? So just because you're a champion don't mean you're above, right?
Yes.
So for me, right now, I would give you Ryan Garcia based off those things. But I also look at Devin Haney, and I said if he comes back and I see him fight a Javier Fortuna or a Luke Campbell, or he starts stepping his game up and he's still being dominant, then we have to revisit this conversation, because now he's showing me something else. When it comes to Tank Davis, he's shown me he don't have that discipline. He's shown me he can get off track. He's shown me that sometimes he can get distracted. Those are dangerous things for a fighter. So right now, and this might make a lot of people mad, and it is what it is, because I can explain and break down anything I say. I have to give to Ryan Garcia, not just because of his social shit, but because of all those other things that I named. That the ingredient of Ryan Garcia is the same ingredient Oscar De La Hoya used for Canelo Alvarez, and we saw how that turned out.
Yes. You want me to tell you the best? Number one is Tank Davis. I don't care what anyone tells me. Tank is the number one. Tank has proven. He's 23-0 with 22 KOs. He took the O of Pedraza, someone who Lomachenko didn't even look that good against. He just stepped up and just beat Gamboa. I don't care if it was Gamboa with one leg or one arm, or Gamboa with 56, who is 56 years old. He beat Gamboa. He's proven. And what he's also doing is that the reason why Floyd is promoting Gervonta is because Floyd realizes, and Gervonta realizes, that people make people. Floyd wasn't Floyd that we know today at the beginning of his career. And if we turn back the clock, the same things which you just said about Gervonta, people were saying about Floyd. They were saying he was unfocused. They were saying he was in the clubs. No one never saw no cigarette or nothing. But all these indisciplines was said about Floyd. So if we look at the similarities of the Gervonta and the Floyd, they're not that too much different. I think that, yes, Devin, and obviously remember, I was with Bill. I took O'Hara Davis, AY. We was living in.
I remember that.
We was in the mansion. We was in the mansion with Bill.
I remember.
Me and Bill was on the way to 50 Cent's gym, and I had that look on my face, that Malcolm X look where I put my hand on my chin like that. And Bill was like, "What are you thinking about, Tunde? What are you thinking about? Because I know you're a thinker." I said, "No, I'm not thinking about nothing." Bill said, "I know what you're thinking about. You think about how the hell these motherfuckers get this money." You get what I mean? That's what Devin's dad said to me. And I said, "Yeah, believe me, I'm thinking, because I know what next man does. What next man has done, I can do it. Because I know that. Because if they done it, that means I can do it. And I'm so happy that Bill and Devin have done that. You get what I'm saying? But that doesn't necessarily, we only see snippets of people's lives on social media. We don't see the 24 hours. And I'm saying that there is no way Gervonta could have achieved what he's achieved without this hard work consistently. Yeah, in between fights, he may look like, I don't know, he may look like a fat guy or a guy with a pot belly, but when it's time to work, he's obviously doing something right, and he could just be indisciplined in his eating. It doesn't mean he's not gonna be what he's gonna be. Right now, every boxer that says they're training and they have trained throughout this quarantine, they don't look like what they look like prior to quarantine. So I know there's an indiscipline. You get me? You're seeing certain men do the little pictures, but you're only seeing the top half. You know, like the chest.
There's a catfishing. Yeah.
They catfishing too, man.
You don't see the bottom part. You know what I'm saying? You don't
The
see
camera angle, yeah, the camera angle.
You don't see the bottom part of their belly. That's what I'm doing a lot of it right now. But it's the mindset. It's being able to switch on at that point. And I just feel, I watched Gervonta Davis live when he was over here fighting Liam Smith. And I said, because I don't, you know me, I don't watch no other fighters more than 10 seconds. But I watched that guy and I said, this guy is a problem. And I feel that whatever he's done from the beginning, he ain't going to lose that discipline. People talk about Andy Ruiz not being disciplined after the AJ victory. But if you go back and do your research, Ruiz was never disciplined. He was always a fat kid that was always out of shape, that got in shape, that could fight. See? So proving that leopards don't change their spots. Gervonta is a fighter. He is a real fighter that I believe is going to get better. So my 1, 2, and 3 at this precise moment is Gervonta 1, Garcia 2, and Devon 3. I'm just being honest.